morning, good life. Welcome back to AmyTV, where we come together to help you go after the life you want. I'm so excited that I'm actually filming a video in my set. Have not been here since we did the planner tutorial, trying to get back into the swing of things. So thank you for being with me today. I am often asked one very, very good question. And sometimes I don't even recall the answer to it because it's like I try to think about my entire career and what I've been told and what I've been taught and what has worked for me and what has not. And that sends me down a rabbit hole of lots of different things. But when I am asked, what is the best advice you have ever received? It really is true no matter what you're talking about. For life, for friendships, for career, for a YouTube channel, for a podcast, like literally anything. It all comes back to the same thing. But the caveat is, this is the best advice I've ever heard. But advice is not the only thing you need in life, right? You need so much more than that. You need to have a little bit of ambition. You need to have energy. You need to have organization. You need to have a little bit of productivity. You need to have the wherewithal to have work ethic, to do the things that you want to do. The advice cannot get you all the way there. So the sad thing about this advice is that it's excellent advice, but nobody wants to take it. Nobody wants to take this advice because it seems too easy, it seems too approachable, and therefore it can't possibly be the full answer. So let's talk about it. What is the best advice that I have ever received? Here it is. Brace yourself. Start small. I know, annoying, right? It's pretty annoying. Here's the reason why that advice is the best advice I've ever received. It works. Here's the reason why that advice is extremely annoying. We don't want to start small because the reason we need advice in the first place is that we want to play big and we want to look like we play big and we want to automatically be in the big leagues, and that is just not how it works. So what happens? You hear this advice, best advice I've ever heard, guys, start small, and you go, yeah. So you say to yourself, okay, I'll remember that. But then you get into things. I mean, you really hit the ground running. It's a Monday. It's the first day of a month. You are ready. You're so excited about the thing that you're going to work toward, and you're going to start small, but like in a big way, right? And then you do it in a big way. You go hard. You do a lot of things. You try to do as much as you can in all of the hours of the day that you have left, or even some of the hours that aren't exactly available, but you try to multitask. Look, I'm excited for you. You're trying to reach your fullest potential. But the problem with that is when you do it so hard and so fast in the short term, and then you still only see small results from what you've done, you can get discouraged pretty quickly. You can lose track of what the big vision is because you only see such small moves, even though you feel like you've really been doing it big. So making sure that you keep your stamina up and keep your ambition going, keep having the resources and the energy and the confidence every single day, because this is going to be a long journey. It's so important that you do that. And so burning yourself out early is a great way to get discouraged and quit. And then you find yourself again saying, well, then what am I going to do? I've quit, or I want to get back into it, but I'm so discouraged and I don't know where to go next. And then you ask someone for the best advice they've ever received. And they say, it's okay to start small. But now you're questioning it even more, right? Because if you just had started small, you might have more energy, but you'd still feel discouraged right now. And we feel embarrassed, not just to ourselves that we can't do more, because we actually still have that belief in ourselves we can do it. But we're so busy looking at the outside world and what they're thinking of us. My friends and family think I'm playing small. I have to make big moves. I have to make bigger advances. I need better results to show everyone that this is legit, that I can do the things I want to do to go after the life I want. That embarrassment starts to register with you at the same time that discouragement registers with you, and then you're playing small in your mind, but only because you're the one hyper-analyzing it. Let me tell you how this story ends. You're burnt out, and there's a strong chance that all those people are unimpressed, okay? Or You start small, you do what you can, you try to maintain your energy, you do whatever you can to pay your bills and start your side hustle, or you do whatever you can to start your store, but then you also have to do this other thing as well. So you're balancing it all and you just do your best. And slowly but surely you get there by taking small steps every single day. And then far down the road, no matter how long it takes you, far down the road, those people that you're trying to win the approval of will finally be like, nice job. Wow. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. This is so great. And that fleeting compliment that lasts a total of 6 seconds eventually comes. It eventually comes. And you're stoked, but then you still have to go back and continue to do the small things, the little things every day to hopefully get to something that accumulates to something so big that it's the life you want. And all along, the only thing that mattered was you showing up and doing the thing for the life you want. You're never playing small when you're doing anything that moves you forward to the life you want. I promise. So it is okay to start small, to move yourself forward. One of the things that was so unfathomable to me was the idea of having my own store. I never really thought about having a brick and mortar shop. I wanted an online store, but even as much online stuff as I do, it seemed so far-fetched for me to have a shop where I sold real things. And I knew it could happen someday with the right help and at the right time. And if I just started small, but I always felt like it was too big and I never started until I finally did. And I just took one small step. Hey, so-and-so, what would it take to create this? How much would that cost? What are the next steps? What are the small steps? What's one thing I can do today? And one of those things was starting an online store and having nothing in it. I still have conversations with people today and they say, oh, you have one thing in your store. I'm like, I know, that's a huge deal for me. Before, it was zero. But I started the store and I did the things I needed to do, the little things, the ideas, the concepting, the conversations with people to help me create something so I could put it in my store. But it's sometimes just that little step of let's just get the domain, right? Let's just get the site. Let's just pick out colors. Let's just do that to start the vision. One small step at a time. To now have a planner in GATLUW.store, and that's a huge deal to me. And then someday it'll have more things in the store, and someday it'll be bigger, and someday someone else will give me a pat on the back. But in the meantime, I'm doing those small things. I want you to do those small things as well, which is why I am so pumped that the people at .store are sponsoring this episode of AmyTV. So what is a .store domain? You might be asking, why did we go that direction? Well, .store is a domain extension that is exclusively for online stores. The word store means a place where you go to purchase something. By sharing the sentiment in your domain name, you make it easy for your customers to understand who you are and what you do. A .store domain name allows you to build a credible brand and makes it easy for your customers to find and connect with you. I'm not sure if you knew this, but 70% of domain name checks for .com fail. That is not a problem that you have when you are looking at the .store extensions. There is so much availability. The likelihood that your idea is available to you and that you can purchase that domain name to be the home of your store is very, very likely. With .store, you get access to a huge pool of short, good quality names, which means that you don't have to compromise on the brand name of your choice. Think about how much advertising dollars I'm saving by simply saying GATLUW.store, say in a video or on a podcast. Just saying GATLUW.store tells the people who follow me at GATLUW that we have a store. It is just so telling of your brand. It makes it really easy and you don't have to explain that there's a place to shop for things. Not only does it help you attract more customers, but it's relevant and helps you represent your own brand. So with the domain names such as homegrocery.store or www.anyparty.store, you can make it an instant connection with your customers. It's extremely memorable, and you know how we feel around here about good branding. It's important to us. Not only that, 500,000 online store owners already trust the .store brand. And we talk about starting small, which means also saving money, especially at the beginning when you're bootstrapping. So definitely check out the details for .store with the link in the description. When you use my code Amy, you can get your domain extension for $1.99 a year. That is a huge savings, over $29 a year. So definitely check that out in the description below. This is just one example of how I have been able to start small in my career. Hopefully it's helpful for you as well. Just remember that just because you're starting small doesn't mean you are playing small. It actually means you see the vision and you are willing to play it out. So many people do not make it to the end of their vision, do not ever see it come to light because they just don't have the patience. And that staying power is probably one of the most important things I have learned throughout my process of growing a career online, working in the workforce at all, is that staying power, because so many people will give up. Do not be somebody who gives up. Question of the day, what are you gonna do to start small today? I would love to hear what you're working on, what you're excited to work on. Share that in the comments down below. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers. I just want you to know that I really chose a very special moment to make this video. The exact moment that I'm having a parking spot paved in the backyard. So many sound things. Amy, you're such an amateur. Sorry. Why is there a chainsaw in the background? Damn. I had to get a text. He just... Excellent. This is what I say to my husband when emergencies happen outside. You're the outside, I'm the inside. Oh, that's not good though. How bad is it? Always, always empathize, even if you are annoyed that you're doing other things and this is not your problem. I am kind of curious of how bad it is. Hold on. Oh, he hit it. He hit the top of it with the bulldozer. It's a tight squeeze out there. Okay. I haven't done my hair in a while, so it's like trying to remember how to ride a bike, trying to remember how to have nice hair. Ooh. Cue B-roll?